Success doesn't happen overnight, and what a lot of people don't really understand is that to be able to be successful in whatever you're trying to do, you won't ever be able to just be successful, right away. And that, a lot of people don't have like the patience to, you know, work multiple days, months, weeks, weeks, months, whatever, wrong order, whatever, people just don't have the patience to keep working hard and keep grinding every single day. And a lot of people tend to find out that they can't succeed in such a short amount of time, and a lot of people tend to give up. And that's the thing about being successful, is that it just doesn't happen overnight out of nowhere. It just, it takes time, to be able to do something to become successful. Like, a lot of people don't understand that you have to work hard, and that hard work pays off, because it really does. A lot of people don't understand that, though, because obviously a lot of people tend to give up because they don't want to put in the effort or the work. And that happens with most people, which is why a lot of people tend to not be very successful, because they just give up, you know? Like, there are people that will be working hard on something and see that there's no progress, seeing no success, you know, seeing that whatever they're doing is not really going anywhere, and people tend to just give up. And the thing that people don't realize is that sometimes, it is like that. Sometimes you won't see progress, you won't see anything really getting any better, and it is what it is. You have to realize that even though it may be like that, it can only be temporary, because eventually you're going to get some traction and things are going to start to get better. Because I have, kind of experienced the same thing with this YouTube channels. There were times where I would be making videos, and there would be times where I wouldn't get many views, I wouldn't be getting like a lot of subscribers, and I would just kind of be on the verge of just straight up giving up. But like, I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't, because obviously this channel has gained a lot of traction, and there are times where I would get like a lot of subscribers, lots of views. It happens, which is why I don't give up, because I really love this channel and I really love what I'm doing here. And to me, I know to a lot of people this channel may not be the most successful channel ever, but this, for me, to make it this far onto YouTube on this channel, and to make all this progress, means a lot to me. And me personally, I feel like this is successful to me. And really, like, the next, milestone that I want to reach is to get fully monetized on this channel. I'm so close to hitting like the first monetization thing, which is like the 3,000 watch hours. And eventually, when I get to that, it's gonna be a really nice feeling once I hit that, because I've been working hard every single day. Like, I know there are days where I can't upload, but I'm doing the best that I can to keep, things consistent, giving you guys content, because I love doing this and I want this to actually go somewhere. And, I'm hitting my goals on this channel, and it's been really great. But of course, I'm not talking about myself, though. I'm talking about everyone in general, and just not just YouTube, but just many things in general. Like, there are people that want to become like professionals in sports. But that just doesn't happen overnight. You don't just get good at a sport overnight. No, that takes time, that takes practice, a lot of training. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta talk to your coaches, and you gotta, you know, go to practices. You gotta work out to stay healthy, you know, stay fit in shape so that you can be able to perform at your absolute best. But of course, getting at a great physique from working out and staying healthy doesn't just happen overnight. That takes time. Over time, if you're consistent with it, you will see progress and you will start to do better and better. And the more you practice something, the better you get at something. So of course, stuff like that. You know, Not even just sports, but like, maybe your job. What if you want to be better at your job? It takes time, it takes effort and work, but eventually, if you get good at your job, it pays off, because obviously, your employers will like you. They will want to keep you around. Maybe they'll give you bonuses, raises, maybe you want to get a good job, you know, and you have to go to college to get a good job that you want to get. Over time, once you get all those classes done and go through the hard work, in the hard times to get all these classes done, you get your degree, you know, you can get a good job and you get to have a better life because you'll be more financially stable. You know, like all this just doesn't happen overnight. You know, like all the stuff that I'm talking about takes time. And I understand all this takes time because, you know, people want to take the easy route in life, but you can't always take the easy route all the time. It's just not a thing you can do all the time, and it won't work out for you most of the time if you take that easy route. I mean, maybe you can. You know, sometimes the easy route does take you to a more successful place in life, but not all the time. It's just not guaranteed. Which is why, you know, like if you really want to be successful, you gotta go through hard times. You gotta go through, you know, hard. You gotta put in a lot of hard work, a lot of effort. And the thing is, you know, some people hate that, you know, they realize that this is gonna take a long time, but you gotta understand is that you can't worry about how long this is gonna take. Yeah, sure, it may take very long to complete these set things, but like you gotta just take it day by day and realize that every single day you're making progress. Even if it's a little progress, you gotta get into that mindset that any progress is progress, and that, you know, like every time you make progress, you're getting closer to the end every single time you make progress. And you gotta have that mindset because that kind of mindset actually helps you get through, you know, these very long grinds and stuff, you know, because obviously I've, you know, had that mindset before where, right, I still have it because every single day I get like a couple subscribers, maybe just one or two. There's some days where I just don't get any subscribers, and that's all right. You know, it's not the end of the world. But whenever I see like my subscriber count like go up, I realize that's closer to, you know, say like 2,000 subscribers. Like I'm making progress on the channel. More views are coming in. That means more progress. You know, I would have that mindset whenever I play Call of Duty because here on the channel I played Black Ops 6. I did the Dark Matter grind, and every single time I'd make progress on my camel challenges, you know, I'd always have that mindset like, hey, I'm making even more progress. I'm getting closer to the end of this whole grind. You know, any progress is progress. You know, I even did that with other Call of Duty camel grinds. You know, I would do that with school. Like, you know, like this assignment's done, that's getting closer to the end because guess what? You know, the more assignments I get done, you know, the closer I am to just being done with all the work in the class in general. You know, it's just nice to have that mindset because it really helps you mentally, helps you be able to just kind of deal with everything. You know, you just got to take things day by day because obviously if you don't and you just keep worrying about the future too much and, you know, all the stuff you're going to have to do eventually, you're going to stress out too much and you're going to burn yourself out. And, you know, being burnt out is definitely a terrible feeling. And, you know, that's a topic I want to talk about in another video separately, you know, being burnt out, because being burnt out is honestly terrible. And, you know, you don't want to burn yourself out, because if you burn yourself out, you know, the more likely you're going to want to give up on what you're doing. You're not going to want to finish your goal here. You're going to want to give up. Most people will most likely quit, you know, because obviously some people just don't want to keep going, which I mean, understandable. You know, you can do whatever you want with your own life. The choice is yours. It's your life to live, not mine. You know, people can choose to do what they want. You know, at the end of the day, as long as the main goal really is to pretty much do what you can to be able to live your life and be happy no matter what, you know, because maybe you don't have the best job in the world, maybe you're not in the best place in the world, but you know what? As long as you're happy, I guess that's all that really matters at the end of the day, because, you know, life, you know, there's really no true meaning of life. Really, all you're doing is just living life, and you're doing whatever you're doing in your life, and you pretty much get to choose to do whatever you want. And we all only have one life, so I guess it's fair for people to want to just do what they want to enjoy their lives. You know, they don't want to go through struggle, they don't want to go through pain. It's understandable, you know. You can't blame people for wanting to enjoy their life because this is the only life they'll have, you know. You only live once. So, yeah, uh, I just really wanted to rant, you know, today and just kind of give that message out, you know, send that message out there for people to see and to hear, you know, pretty cool stuff here. But yeah, that's gonna be for this video though, you guys. If you guys made it this far into the video, I hope all of you guys enjoyed, and thank you all for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, guys.